The call came just past midnight. Offshore silence, the hum of the generators, the faint salt of diesel in the air. My wife's voice cut through it like shrapnel. "Honey, he broke my arm." Her sobs were jagged, hysterical, bones grinding against each other as she tried to steady the phone. And then I heard him, the foreman, calm, too calm. "Tell your husband he's next." A pause, heavy breathing, her muffled whimper. Something inside me didn't break, it locked, cold, hard, still. Behind me, the rig manager, an old Marine buddy, caught the tone of the call. His face shifted, one part pity, one part recognition. He didn't ask, he didn't need to. "The supply chopper's yours," he said. His voice gravel, final. "Go remind him what happens when you mess with a Marine's family." The line went dead. I stared at the steel deck under my boots, and I knew. Nothing in my life would be the same when I touched land again. Infidelity wasn't loud. It didn't scream like broken bones. It whispered. I'd ignored it for months. Small things I had filed away as stress, paranoia. Her phone always face down. Late nights she swore were work calls. The lingering scent of cologne that wasn't mine. I'd convinced myself marriage was trust. Convincing myself was easier than admitting I'd been made a fool. But now, her broken arm, the foreman's voice, it clicked together. Too easily. He wasn't just her boss. He was closer. Too close. I replayed the call in my head. Her scream, his whisper, the way he owned the moment, like he wasn't threatening a stranger, he was warning a rival. My hands didn't shake, my breathing didn't hitch. Marines learn early, control is survival. But inside, something jagged twisted itself into place. A suspicion I could no longer ignore. This wasn't about a broken arm, it was about betrayal. The flight back was hours of silence and calculation. Externally, I was stone. Internally, I was inventorying every detail. First step, confirmation. Not emotion. Proof. I called a contact in town, an old cop who owed me. Asked for surveillance on my house. Discreet. No questions. Second, evidence. I remembered a password she once used. Took her phone when she finally slept under painkillers. Extracted messages. Not enough to convict, but enough to smell rot. Third, patterns. Hotel receipts in her email. A hidden card I'd never seen. Charges that lined up with his work trips. Every discovery was a blade slid between my ribs. Slowly, silently. But I didn't let it bleed. Not yet. By the time I walked through my front door, I wasn't a husband anymore. I was an investigator, a Marine, a man dismantling a lie piece by piece. She smiled weakly, casted arm across her lap, trying to mask guilt with pain. I kissed her forehead, nodded gently, pretended I hadn't already begun to map her downfall. The DNA results arrived in a plain envelope. My son. Except, he wasn't mine. 99.9% certainty. The foreman. The air left my lungs in silence. I didn't throw the chair. I didn't break the table. I just sat and let it consume me. That night I placed the envelope on the kitchen table. No words, just paper. She saw it. Her face drained, bloodless. "Please," her voice cracked, splintered. "I can explain." I said nothing, just stared. The kind of stare that pulls marrow out of bones. Her explanation crumbled in her throat. She folded in on herself. And I stayed still, silent, like a firing squad without the bullets. Morning came. Sunlight broke through the blinds, too bright, too cruel. I packed a bag, methodical, precise, passport, orders, cash. She followed me down the hall, desperate, broken. "Don't leave. He means nothing. It was a mistake. Please, don't take our son." I turned, cold, precise. "Our son?" My voice was ice. He's not mine. The words crushed her worse than any fist could. Her knees buckled. She collapsed against the doorframe, sobbing, clawing at the air. I didn't touch her, didn't comfort her. I just walked past, bag in hand, leaving the silence to bury her alive. On the flight back to the rig, I stared out the window at endless black water. No pity, no rage left. Just clarity. The kind that feels like frost in your veins. She had gambled everything. My trust, my name, my blood. And lost. The foreman would live. She would live. But neither would ever escape the truth. I didn't need violence. Truth was enough. Truth is always heavier than bullets. When I stepped onto the steel deck again, the manager asked if I was all right. I gave him the only answer that mattered. She's already dead to me.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.